generally, depending on the time frame you're on, I'd like to see, and this is going to sound kind of weird, at least on a 15-minute chart, I'd at least like to have seen it not there within the last day or so. You got it? At least for the last day, the last 20, 24, even 48 hours. That's the kind of time I want. I want price to have bounced away from there and not been there for a long time, because that's what gives this the power here. All right. Now Ken is saying only 3 so far. Only 3 what, Ken? Only 3 what? Oh yes, I know, I know. The rest are coming. Don't worry about that. We'll that'll be worked out by next week. All right. So in this particular case, until I get a close below here, I'll be a bit cautious. All right. You got what I'm saying? This is a nice price trap, but my bias on this would be long unless we get a close below here. And if we get a close below here, then I can come down here and I can go to a 1-minute chart and look for a setup to go short on the 1 minute. So I don't actually miss any real value. Make sense? But right now, this so-called downtrend may have come to a halt. Now, Ravinko is saying, why price trade from white candle and not black? I don't understand. Oh, I think he's asking me, why am I using the white candle? Why am I using this candle? Okay, because the next 2 candles after this candle, neither of the next 2 candles could close above this high or close below this low. Look at the next 2 candles after this white candle. A price trap, you have to have those 3 things in place. You have to have the main candle, but why not start from black after white? Because the black candle did not close above this high, Ravinko. The black candle is, it could be considered another price trap, but it's not the main candle that created the price trap. Where in this black candle did it close below this low or close above that high? That's the key. Ravinko, did you see that? Nothing closed above this high. So this is the most powerful candle of the bunch in here right now. Because as strong as this black candle may look, it could not close below the low, and it could not close above the high. Yeah, he said other times I've used the smaller, newer price traps. The reason I'm using this one and not this one is that this is a larger candle. You got me? And this is the first candle until this, and you could go and use this. Or, let me not say you can't do it. You can move it right there. Got it? So what you're saying, you could do the same thing. And it's not that much of a difference, but this white candle was the one that started it. So if I go here to this candle, I move this mark out a little farther into the future. So what you were saying was correct. You could use either one, but this white one was the first one that did it. Did I answer that for you, Tony? And Rob, you're correct. The black candle is another price trap. All right. So I have some chart-based evidence to lead me to believe that this may go long. And notice how this black candle came all the way down, and it was a solid black candle right here. There were probably a lot of traders right here that went short or thought that this was going to go short just because they saw the black candle coming down here. But we know that this is the most powerful stopping price right here, these closes right here. And every time we've hit these, we've bounced off, every single time. So I was not surprised to see this black candle come down, hit this, and take off again. Okay? Any thought on that? So the idea is look at the current time frame, decide which of the four building blocks you're in. Once you figure out which building block you're in, how do you trade it? And if you remember what we talked about with price traps a few days ago was location, location, location. Every price trap is not tradable. But if the price trap happens at a location on the chart that makes sense, then it gives you a higher probability. All right. So this price trap is being formed at a place on the chart that could be quite powerful for a long trade. Because if we look back in the past a bit, and I just want to let this update. If we look in the past, the last, I hear somebody's voice coming in. If we look in the past, the last time we were here, you see here we tapped it on the 4-hour chart and just exploded away from it. So playing the odds, playing a logical, repeatable pattern, that makes sense that it could go long. Also, if we look at the 4-hour chart, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles short. What's the rule on candle movement? Anybody remember? What's the rule on candle movement? Right. 3 to 5, and then what, Brian? Okay, yep. Tony's got it, 3 to 5, and then a pullback, and Brian is 3 to 5, and then a pullback. Sean is saying 2 or 3 and a pullback. So remember, we're in a downtrend on the 4-hour chart. Okay, we got a high, a lower high, a lower high, and now here's our push down. So we get 3 to 4 candles down, 3 to 5 candles down, and we should get 2 to 3 on the pullback. So this is poised for a pullback for a number of reasons. And again, it's chart-based evidence. Just go back in the chart and look for when was the last time price was in this area. All right? Any thoughts on that? And we'll do some review again tomorrow for the new guys. And I'm glad you guys are making money. Hello? Somebody was trying to speak.
Yes, it's Rock. I'm trying to ask you a question on your price trap. Could
Yes.
we go back to that 15-minute, and could I just sort of explain what I thought I saw, but just ask you if it's true?
Okay.
Okay.
Can everybody hear John? Can everyone hear John? Okay, great. Okay, John, go ahead.
Okay. The price trap is definitely there, but theoretically, if you bounce off the bottom and you bounce off the top, the market should learn that they're bouncing from those levels. So therefore, I would guess that the price stays, or sorry, the price spends less time in that area where it bounces, and therefore the body of the candle should progressively, on average, get smaller. Is that actually the case? Does the body of the candles kind of act like a wedge in a price trap?
No, they don't. And I understand what you're saying in theory. And you use another word that we try to stay away from, which is the word guess. Okay? We
Yep.
don't want to
Okay.
guess on anything. What we want to do is look at what is the most likely probability. Here's a price trap here that does the opposite of what you're saying. All right? Let's look at this price trap here. This candle. You see that? You see nothing got outside of this candle? All right,
Yep.
but if
Yeah.
you notice, now we didn't get into some of the heavier chart patterns yet, but we will as time goes on. This is actually an expanding wedge. You see that?
Yep. Gotcha.
All right, so that did the opposite of what you were just saying. So what happens
Okay.
inside a price trap, the DNA of a price trap, is any combination of candles that reach both sides. They can be solid, huge bearish candles. They could be tiny white candles. But what makes it a trap is that nothing can close outside of the high or low. What goes on inside is all dependent upon who's looking at the chart and what their thinking is. Okay, or what they're deciding to buy and sell. Like if you look inside this price trap, not only do we have an expanding wedge here, we have piano keys. And the piano keys, the candles involved being in piano keys. And when I say piano keys, you got a black one, a white one, a black one, a white one, a black one. I'm just going to show you. And when we get into candlestick DNA, we'll go over this. This candle is about 5 pips wide. This guy right here. Okay? I just want you to see that when you get piano keys like this, it's usually big guys stacking orders. Because you'll notice, even though the next candle was a white candle and a different shape altogether, the size of the white candle was about 5 pips. And now we have a black candle that looks different than the white candle, but the size of that candle is about 5 pips. And now we have a hammer that looks different than all 4 of these, but the size of the hammer is about 5 pips. Okay? And that goes on and on until a major... That goes on and on until a major shift happens with the buyers and sellers. Do you see that? These are called piano keys. Yep. And when I get into, and look, here's more piano keys. And look, it stayed that way until a major shift occurred. A black one, a white one, a black one. And these are big dogs. One guy, I want 10,000 units. I'm selling 10,000. I'm buying 10,000. I'm selling 10,000. I'm buying 10,000. That's what goes on here. So when we touch into the candlestick DNA and you understand what message is in the individual candles, that will become much more clear. But right now, if I gave you a box of candles and I said build a price trap, well, you know that first you'd need one major candle, and then you'd need at least 2 candles that can't close above the high or low of the major candle. And it doesn't matter what shape they are, it doesn't matter what configuration they are, but you know that's what you need. And in order to continue building a price trap, you need a bunch of candles that can't close outside of the high or low. Their size, their shape, the wicks, none of that matters. You got me?
Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, that's very clear. Thank you. Could I just ask one other observation?
Yeah.
It seems that the length of time of the price trap is usually about, roughly speaking, about twice the size of the candle. Is that just another random observation of mine, or does that carry any weight?
No, that's random. Because if I looked at this, you see this black candle? Yep. See this black candle? This black candle locked up. This black candle locked up all of these.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so there's no direct relationship between the length and the width. What I can tell you is the longer the trap goes, usually the farther it'll go in distance. It'll go more than the 2-to-1 that I usually trade. You got me?
Okay.
I like the 2-to-1 risk reward because it's safe. It doesn't require a lot of risk, and it's easy to measure, and I can check it off of a list without having to get subjective about it. It's the subjectivity that gets a lot of traders into trouble. So I prefer to work with clean rules and then save the subjectivity for some other aspect of the trade. Okay? Like the subjectivity on this aspect of the trade is once this breaks out of the top, where do I want to take some of my trade off? That could be subjective. You got me?
Yeah.
But the rules for the price trap, I want them to be fixed in concrete. So if I should ever go back and look at my trades in the past, and I can say, a price trap trade, I know exactly what I should have done. That's the key. You want to be able to go back and look at your old trades and figure out what you should have done. And then you'll know whether you followed the rules or you decided to make up your own rules and do your own thing. Okay, and if you remember, my bias on this trade was long. This could take off long. Let's take a look at a 1-minute chart. I'm busy running my mouth. See, this is why it's hard to trade and teach at the same time. I'm going to go down to a 1-minute, and what I may do starting next week is assign someone as a chart watcher. and they'll be looking for trades or looking for setups. And then when we see them, we can take advantage of them. All right. So here's where we are right now. All right. So if I were to take this trade on the native chart, my stop loss would be 14 pips, which isn't a bad loss. But if I were to take it on the close of this candle and go to my last swing low, I'm now looking at a 4-pip stop. Okay? Do you see that? Yes. Now, 4 pips is with a 2.5 pip range. 4 pips doesn't leave much room. If I took this trade with a 4-pip stop, with a 2-pip spread, 2.5 pip spread, I would get stopped out, or the trade would get stopped out right about there. Did you understand that? Because you're going to pay the spread on the way out? Yes. Everybody understand that? Just give me a yes or no. I don't want to move on if I go through something you don't understand. So that's why even with a 4-pip stop, you may see me, let me stretch this out. Okay, I'll take the 6. Or maybe I'll take the 10. I'm still saving 4 pips. You got me? But maybe I'll take the 6. That'll give me a little more, leeway. All right. Jose is saying one more time. If I take this trade now at the close of this candle, Jose, on a 1-minute chart now, if I take this trade on the 15-minute chart, my stop loss is 14 pips. Okay, you see that, Jose? But because Uncle Lou is just one of the cheapest people you'll ever meet, Uncle Lou wants to take this trade on a 1-minute bar, on a 1-minute chart. And I want to see if I can get into this using a smaller stop. So if I do this, enter here, if I go to the last swing low, it's 4 pips. You see that? Jose? This works on all time frames, Matt. Matt is asking what's the reasonable time frame for this strategy. This works on all time frames. All right. Now, Matt asked like $1,000 question, or what would I recommend? And I answered this yesterday. When you turn the computer on, what you want to do is trade the most tradable chart. You want to find the chart that's got the easiest pattern for you to see. You want to trade the chart that's got the clearest setup for you to see. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-minute, a 5-minute, or a 5-day. What you want is a chart. I can see that. That's what I'll trade. And even if the trade doesn't set up this minute, then you can mark your lines and label them so when price does come back there, you're in a better position. Okay, and Matt is saying, I understand location of the trade. Yes, and I guess did I answer that for you, Matt? Okay, excellent. So you see on this with the 4-pip stop, if this candle had come down and touched this line, it probably would have stopped me out. It's about 2.5 pips, pretty close. So that's the whole thing with the bit in the ass. That's why I stretch it out a little bit. Are you still going over how to set up for the day? Yes, I am, Sharon. I didn't forget. So you see this might have been stopped out on that with the 6-pip stop. Okay. That's why I stretch it out a little bit. This is much better when you're out like on a 4-hour time frame or something like that. Okay, and then you come down to a lower time frame. Okay, any questions on this aspect? Just keep in mind we want the most tradable chart. And tomorrow is for the new guys, so everybody's welcome, but my focus is going to be on the new guys going over some of the real basic stuff. Brian is asking, do I look for clean breakout candles? Brian, I look for closing candles. That's my style. More aggressive traders would trade 1 tick above the box. Nothing wrong with that, but understand it's aggressive and it has a higher probability of possibly not working out. All right. And so far we're 4 for 4 on the trades we call in the room. just by sticking with the rules as they are, not taking risky trades, not even looking at a trade that might be a bad trade, just by taking the rule-based trades the way we have it set up. All right? Any questions? Most of my trades tend to be moderate. When I'm hyper scalping, Curry, that's when I get aggressive. But I know it's an aggressive type of trade, hyper scalping, and that's scalping on 5-minute and 1-minute charts. All right. Figure 70% of my trades are going to be moderate because I'm waiting for the rules to really set up, and because I've done this a number of times, I can be fairly confident that the trade, will give me some positive results. This is not scalping. These are intraday position trades is what we're looking at the moment. And again, I just want to show you something. Even on the 1-minute chart, remember that 3 to 5 candle rule? We have a push up, and here we have 2 to 3 candles on a pullback. There was your pullback. And now we're going long again. So that same rule, doesn't matter what time frame, doesn't matter what pair, doesn't matter what chart. If you look over here, I can't do it, but you see there's a little mini price trap in here on the 1-minute. So these things show up everywhere. You got me? It's a matter of picking the one or two that you like the best. All right? These are generally intraday position trades. I'm trying to use the smallest. And you see, if my stop loss is here, if I didn't have to worry about the spread, I'm still in this trade. You understand that? I put my stop loss down here. What was it? 6 pips? 4.5, 5 pips. So we've got a potential 5-pip stop looking for twice the width of this box, looking for a 28-pip move. All right. So that's at least, 6 to 1? That's how you would like to do these trades. All right. Now, what I want to go into for the last half hour here is various ways you can set your charts up to start looking for trades every day, and a method that you could use for looking at trades every day. All right. This is a very, very, I should have took that trade. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it. Okay, I'm not going to chase. Let me stay on point. But we did have a good trade here on that 15-minute. I just erased everything. This box. Okay. But you guys can monitor this, but this was a trade. I'm not going to count it in the list because I didn't pull the trigger on it because I was talking. All right. But the bias here is long. What I generally like to do, if I'm going to intraday trade, and by intraday, okay, Gene. Gene's leaving. I'll catch you tomorrow. No, Mike, this candle hasn't closed on the 15, Mike, but I just want you to see something. This candle didn't close on the 15, but on the 1-minute, we did have a close above it. I just want you to show you that. See that? We had a close above it here. We had a close above it here. So it's a matter of where are you taking the entry? You got me? So if we took the entry on in 1-minute, we'd be in long. I forget where it was. We had a 6-pip stop. It was this one. Yeah, it was here with a. I think this was it. Yeah, right. We had like a 4-pip stop, 5-pip stop. Okay, so it's a matter of where. All right. So let's back off of that. You can ask me those questions at the review tomorrow. All right. Now I'm going to give you what I personally like to, and a candle just closed, Mike. Okay, and it closed outside the trap. So if you wanted to go long, this would be a place. But I personally, and I've never set this particular broker up. This is Prime Trade. This is the broker that's used by Pioneer Trading. And for American clients, there are some interesting advantages to trading with them. Through the school, you can trade and get 200 to 1. Up to 500 to 1. You can hedge. There's no FIFO rule, and there's no dealing desk. Actually, no dealing desk, which is kind of cool. It's one of the stipulations that they had to have in order to make this work. So, touch base with me by email if you've got any questions on that. It's a good deal. Now, um, intraday trading. What I'm teaching you right now is how to make money pretty much on a daily basis or every other day. All right. The real money maker in Forex are the long term trades, the 4 hour, daily, and weekly. And I sometimes use an 8 hour chart. Okay. The 4 hour, daily, and weekly. That's where usually the big money is. But if you need to make money in and out every day, if you want to make like $100 a day or $150 a day, intraday is the way to go. All right. I generally, now let me just close this down. I just want to see something here because they upgraded the, okay, good. I'm going to make a new template, a new setup. So these are all pound dollar charts. So let me go window, tile vertically. These are all pound dollar charts. Let me make a template and properties and black on white. Okay, I want to get rid of these indicators for now because we don't need them. And we will go into indicators in detail. Believe me, you'll be sick of indicators, but you'll know how they work and you'll know how to use them to confirm certain things. So I'm going to make this my 5 minute chart. 5 minute. Why is it not going to a 5 minute? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, this must be a glitch in this new. You guys know that they did the whole hey Chris, I'm not sure which Chris this is. But hi. Um oh, okay, Chris. Good to see you. Now why won't this go to a 5 minute chart? Oh man, this is annoying. And this may have something to do with the new build. Oh yeah, they're on build 574. So this is gonna have glitches until they update. Oh, yeah, Mike, I did that. Look, I'm selecting the pound dollar 1 hour. Okay, and now I want to go to a 5 minute, and you see it's not cooperating. Oh, that's just way too weird. Um, hmm. All right, let me try a different broker. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm just going to do a different broker because I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on that. Let me close this. I'm going to drag this over. All right. Now this is more of an advanced system, and I won't get into all of that. But what I'm going to do is Control F5 and try to get a new template, so I can show you guys how to set up a template here. Oh, come on, guys. You see, I traded down the S&P also, but I'm just going to minimize these. We don't need these for the moment. All right, so I'm going to set up a. Someone give me a pair to set this up. Tony, on another day, I'm very interested in knowing how to chase the big money on a. Yeah, we will get to longer term trades. Okay, we will get to that, but let's get this one thing at a time first. Okay, because once you understand price action, a lot of it will still apply elsewhere. I see everybody's punching in pairs. I guess must be a news announcement or something. The pairs are moving, but I'm not going to concern myself with that at the moment. So here's a pound dollar chart. Let me make sure I can make this a 5 minute. Okay, great. This is a 5 minute. Let me clean this up. Get rid of the grid, and I want to make this black and white. Okay, that's a 5 minute. Now I'm going to go new chart. Again, pound dollar. And I'm going to make this a 15 minute and file new chart, another pound dollar. I'm going to leave that at 1 hour and then file a new chart. I'm going to go pound dollar, and this one's going to be 4 hour. Okay, so I have a 15 minute, a 5 minute, a 15, a 1 hour, and a 4 hour. Now, the premise for using these tile vertically. Oh, something's not. Oh, crude oil. We don't need crude oil chart right now. And it came back. I didn't want that. Window, tile vertically. Ah, for the love of, let's just get rid of it. Window, tile vertically. Ah, what is with these glitches with this? Let me see if these things are open down here somewhere. This is just annoying today. I don't understand why. Okay, this is just another glitch in the new build that I don't quite understand. All right, I'm going to minimize this. We're just going to go through this, okay? I'm going to save this as a template. Oh, no. Let me go here. Save template. And I'm going to save this as and BW for black and white. Okay. And now I'm going to load that template on each of the next charts. You see what I'm doing? I'm highlighting it. I'm going down here and I'm loading the template on each of the 4 charts. All right, let me try this window again. It keeps bringing up an extra. All right. Let's do this. Open this up. Open this up a bit. And I'm just gonna have to do this by hand because this platform is acting buggy. All right. Now this is one way of doing this, and then what you want to do is you want to bring all the charts to current time. Bring the chart to current time. Turn this off. Bring this to current time. Bring this to current time. And bring this to current time. All right, and the idea is, again, you want to find the most tradable chart. All right, let me open up these candles and open these candles, make this candles, and open this up a little bit, and open this up a little bit. Make it candles. I'll have to change the template again. This is another bug in the new build. Sometimes when they do these upgrades, man, it's just chaotic. All right, so let me open this again. So now, as we look at this, this is all pound dollar. And as I'm looking at this, I just want to check to see if I'm missing any. Oh, Rob Rice is saying you can't place a trade. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Rob, because this new upgrade is just screwing everything up. And Rob, last time I talked to you, you were on build 509. If you go up and check build again, go to help and about. You see this is updated to build 600. You might be on 574. Okay, you're still on build 509? Okay. It's just they're trying to upgrade this and they're making a mess out of it. I'm trying to figure out which Chris this is. Is this Chris? Does your last name start with a V? Because I don't want to. Oh, I know. Good to hear from you again. I thought you fell off the end of the earth. Okay, I've been around. I've been around. It's good to hear from you. Now, Sharon, based on these 4 charts you're looking at, which one of these 4 charts right now appears to be a tradable chart? And tell me why. Well, yeah. Well, I was talking to Sharon. Okay, the 5 minute. What are you seeing on the 5 minute then that makes you think that? What are you seeing that you like? Like all the charts are tradable, which is technically correct, but the idea is to see, look for something you like. And uh, okay. So Sharon is saying bottom out and trap. Okay, so I guess you were looking at this down here, Sharon, in this general area. Am I correct? Okay, good. All right, very good. Um, a lot of these do have various things in them. We've got a pin bar here on the 4 hour, but we need to see a little bit more evidence of it. If you wanted to be aggressive, I would now check why did I get this pin bar up here? Okay, I would look for chart-based evidence. Okay, Chris is saying break of lower high and price cannot make a new low. Where are you on the are you on the 5 minute you're talking about, Chris? Okay, we're in a downtrend, and we have to go a mile to really create a new high here. And we haven't made a new low, so this could form a wedge. Let's see how it unfolds. If this is going to form a wedge, it'll do something like this probably. Okay. That might be how it will unfold as a wedge. All right. So what I do is I look at the four time frames like this, and based on what we've learned so far, and remember, there's a lot of material we haven't covered yet. Based on what we've learned so far, what you're looking for is the most tradable chart, the chart that's the easiest for you to see. All right. Now, once you have your chart set up like this, there are a couple of things that some people do, and I'll give you an example. On the pound dollar on the 4 hour chart, let's say your bias on this was short because you see the pin bar, but we're not going to investigate it just yet. Then what you do, you would right click, go to properties, and the background of the chart, you could make like a reddish color. So you know that your thinking here was short. So should you ever come back to it, you'll know where your brain was. On this 5 minute chart, let's say your thinking was long. Well, then you could go here, set up your chart, and make the background color. So you're thinking long on this chart, short on that chart. So it's another way of just doing a quick trick just to keep your mind in focus. Oh, this is green, so I was looking for a long trade. Why? Because sometimes when you're looking at 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs, it's very easy to get all kerfumptered and get disoriented and forget what you were looking at originally. And then all of a sudden you're saying, wait, where was that? Was that price rep on the pound dollar or the euro yen? All right. So it's a way to keep things a little bit more organized for your thinking. If it's neutral and you really don't see anything yet, let's say like this 15 minute, leave it at the same color. What do you see that makes one more tradable than the other? Mike, you're looking for the best looking chart setup that you can identify. If you don't identify anything on these charts that you're not comfortable with, find new charts. You do not want to scratch your head. Okay? You don't want to start thinking, I think this, I figure this, I assume that. You're looking for patterns that are tradable. Go find another chart. And if you go through a series of charts and you can't find any, don't trade that day. Remember, the trick is not to take the bad trade in the first place. If you've got a decent set of rules you can work with, then take the good trade. I am not sure what it is I'm looking for. You're looking for whatever you can see. If you like price traps, then only look for price traps. If you don't see them, move on. If you really like trendline breaks, then only look for trendline breaks. If you don't see it, move on. Look for your favorite setup. or look for candle patterns that appear to be in the process of setting up your favorite setup. You got me? Don't turn a chart on without having some sort of an idea of what you'd like to see on the chart in order to take a trade. That's why when we turn the charts on, the first question is, where am I in the 4 building blocks? Where am I in the 4 building blocks? Okay? That's the thing you have to ask yourself. Where am I? And if you don't have a good, clear answer, move on to a chart that you can read. Do not sit there and scratch your head and bang your head against the wall, because you will talk yourself into a bad trade, I promise you. Yeah, right now we're talking about organizing the charts. So these are the 4 time frames that I like, and I like them, and I can't do it with the 15-minute chart because each one of these is 4 hours away from, or 4 time frames away from the other one. So the 1 hour requires 4 15-minute charts. The 4 hour requires 4 1 hour charts. So they're all 4 hours, 4 time frames away from each other, with the exception of the 5-minute. Okay? This gives me a fairly good idea of what's going on in the market. All right? These are the 4 that I like to look at. All right? And I set them all up together. And again, I don't know if I don't have it set up on this chart, on this platform, but you understand what I'm doing. I'm taking the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour, and I'm leaving the charts naked, no indicators. Because if I can't tell what's going on with price action, then I need to find something that I can do, that I can look at. Okay, Sean is saying, when you're identifying what building block you're in at the moment, do you look at the whole screen or just the past few bars? Well, I like to look at the past few bars tells me which one of the 4 blocks I'm in. You follow me? Right now, I'm in a possible downtrend. All right. And I'm in a pullback in that downtrend. Now, on this chart, just to take a for instance, because the last most dominant closing price is this one right here, you'll notice that nothing closed below here. Let me just drag this down just a hair. You see that? So I can't say I'm in a downtrend because I didn't make a new low on the 5-minute chart. I can't say I'm in an uptrend because I haven't made a new high on the 5-minute chart either. You see that? So this is okay, but it's not crystal clear. I prefer something, a bit more clear. Jose, what are the 4 building blocks again? We uptrend, downtrend, consolidation, and instant reversal. And consolidation can be price traps, bull flags, bear flags, and wedges. Consolidation has price traps, bull flags, bear flags, and wedges. All right, Manuel is asking. Now, as you guys are typing, there are a couple of advantages to looking at the 4 time frames. Okay, Manuel. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be a review for the new guys. Same time, 8:30. All right. The other advantage here is that let's take this 4-hour chart and I'll show you. So on the 4-hour chart, I want to know why did I get this pin bar here. So what I do now, I know this current candle is not closed, but I just want to do this, as an example. I'm looking at the pin bar. I'm going to mark the highest price that pin bar was able to close right there. Then remember, I like the closing price. Now I go up to this high. I leave this here, and now I go back in the past, and I want to know what happened the last time I was in this pocket. And look at that. You see that? The last time price was in that pocket, it took a dramatic fall overall of over 400 pips. You see that? So on the 4-hour chart, I've got the idea that this thing may tank for 400 pips, or at least for the first leg, at least 150 pips. You see that? Anytime I get, this hard drive up, hard drive up, hard drive up, hard drive up, and every single trader in the world, like I have to go back to that concept again. Every single trader in the world came to a dead stop right there. Now, they've made all of this, all the traders on the pound dollar made this huge, humongous bullish candle, and now they all came literally to a dead stop. That makes me suspicious, and I want to know why. And again, to go back to, I think, what Sharon was saying, is there a time frame, as to how far back I want, I would like to see the distance between these two. It's really chart based. So on a 4-hour chart, I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of days back. A couple of days ago we hit this, was what, January 23rd? That's more than a couple of days, but you see that the last time we hit it, a stone cold fall. Now that I see that on the 4-hour, I can now look down at these lower time frames, and I can look for a short in that direction while I'm watching this. Does everyone see that? Do you understand what I'm getting at? Okay. So now I see this candle starting to go short right here because we've got this pullback. You see that? So we're waiting for a black candle now. Now, when this candle starts going short, I can watch how it shapes this candle on the 4-hour. So you see, every time this ticks down on the 5-minute, it does a tick on the 4-hour. So I've got a potential now for this to at least go 20 pips back to the low of this candle. So on this 5-minute chart, if I get a little bit of a pullback candle here somewhere, this thing is so buggy today. If I get a little bit of a pullback, or if I get a price trap, or if I get anything that gives me an indication for a short trade, I can realistically expect that it would probably go back to this low, because this pin bar was the start. The last time we were up here, this pin bar was the start of a potential 300 pip drop. So by having the different time frames available and right in front of me, I can watch how this unfolds. Okay, does that make sense, Sharon? Okay, Kim is typing. The charts are different. That could be for a whole host of reasons, Kim. It could be because of the broker you're using, number one. Also, MetaTrader 4 is in the middle of upgrading and doing some sort of thing where they claim they're improving the system, but it's just pissing people off. So yeah, our charts could look very different for any number of reasons right now. But we'll have to work with it until next week. You see, on the other broker, I couldn't even change the time frame. So that I'm just stuck. I couldn't change the time frame at all. So that's just one of those things. Now, once you have your charts set up, and let me make this background white again. Black on white. And let me go back here. Color scheme, black on white. Okay, once this is set up the way you like it, and you don't have to use these time frames. I'm just explaining that these are the time frames I like. And as we start working with the multiple time frames, you'll see you'll see certain things unfold. Like you see all of this pullback here. You see this whole pullback on the 5-minute. All that pullback was the bottom wick on this candle. I want you to catch that. Okay, so let's just see here. This was about 24 pips. The bottom wick on this candle is just about 20 pips. It's fluctuating now, but you get what I'm saying? This pullback was this bottom wick. And when we start working with multiple time frames, we're going to break it down again to a DNA form, so you'll understand what's happening from how one time frame rolls into the next. Now that we have these charts set up the way we want them, what we do now is we create a profile. You go to File, and you go to the Profiles tab, and then Save As, and oh, here we go. And then it's going to ask you to enter a new profile name. All right. And here we will put GPB pound dollar basic. And you can call it whatever you want. That's pound dollar basic, okay? So I'm going to leave that as it is. And then anytime I want to bring up all 4 pound dollar charts again in unison, I go to Profiles, and then down in my chart, it says pound dollar basic. So now I'm going to go to default, and this is an altogether different bunch of stuff, all right? But once I had that pound dollar set up, if I want to take a look at the pound dollar, I go File, I go Profiles, pound dollar basic, and it brings my 4 basic charts back. You see that? So what you'll do is you'll create a new set of charts, and you will name each one, you know, make it the 5 minute, the 15, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour, and then you'll go to Profiles. Okay? And then you'll go to File, Profiles, and you'll save the name. All right? So now that this is set up, what I could do now is I'm going to make all of these Eurodollar charts. I'm going to drag the Eurodollar symbol over, okay, on all 4 charts. All right? So now these are all Eurodollar. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Profiles, Save As, and I'm going to call this EUR Basic. All right, close that. So now I go back to File, Profiles. I'm going to go Pound Basic, and you see they're all pound dollar charts now. Okay, I go to File, Profiles, I go Euro Basic, and now they are all Eurodollar charts. So once you have these set up, it's very easy to go right down the line. Okay, and set up whatever grouping of charts you want. This way you don't get into that whole confusion of trying to open a chart and keeps, you know, moving the name of the chart over and all that. You get them all set up, and for some reason this tile thing is not working correctly. And I know I have a bunch of charts open, but normally once you minimize the chart, it shouldn't open up the next chart. I'm not sure why that's doing that. Okay? But you follow what I'm saying here. This way, let's say you're working with 4 pairs. You can start with each of the 4 pairs, look at the 4-hour chart. It literally takes you 10 seconds to see if you've got a setup that you like. Or if you see a setup in the making, a setup that's getting ready to form. Okay? Any questions on that? This is just a basic setup, how to set up the charts. How to read them, we will get into. But I want you to see just how to set them up. Okay? And you can always modify it to fit you. Jose will get into grids a little bit later. We'll get into grids when we start support and resistance. Sean is saying, when you get a chance, could you please share your email address? It's, I thought everybody had it. All right, let me just drop it on this chart here. Oh, wait, let me go back to the other broker. I just want to see where that trade was. I know we had a trade. We had a box. We had a price trap on something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, thanks, Rob. What was that trade we were looking at? The price trap? we got off of this because I couldn't get the oh, look at this. It still won't change. Unfreaking believable. I'm just going through the templates here. Um, does anyone recall where that price trap trade was we were looking at? Oh, it was right here. Okay. This was it. I just want to see what happens. So it's still sitting in limbo, and I think our 1 minute trade would still be safe. Our 1 minute entry, rather. Where are we? Let me go back to the 1 minute because I like to follow up so you can see these things live. We didn't take a trade today. Um, and where are we? Somewhere in here we took a trade with about a 6 pip stop. I think it was this one. All right, so I'm going to mark this as the stop. This is not an actual trade. But again, just so you could see, we've got a 6 pip stop and we're looking for a 28 pip take profit. So that risk reward is reasonable. All right, and it looks like it's going to take off in our direction. But any question on setting up the charts? Does anyone need me to go through that again? And next week we'll have the whole situation straightened out with the videos. All right. It's coming up on 11 o'clock. And one thing I want to point out, guys, earlier in the room we had two guys in here that were, I guess, trying to create some conflict or whatever. And if you remember, I've done this a few times before, and I've come across these kind of guys. Oh, this is old stuff. This doesn't work. That doesn't work, and all that. But usually, people like that are not making money. Okay, and I try to be one of the few teachers that will trade live right in front of you so you could see it. And those of you that may know me from there's a two private rooms that I'm in, not David's room, but the two other rooms that I was in where we call trades live every day. So, I try to trade live in front of you guys so you can see that this thing works. And the evidence is right here on these 4 trades, and there's one trade that's missing. All right, so in 8 days we cleared 676 plus 750. I don't know, I got to add that up, but you guys can do the math. 676 plus 750. It's $1,400. Okay. The other rooms are private, Matt. But some of the people know me from them, and I call trades live. I haven't done it the last couple of weeks because I've been here. So what I'm going to do is try to call more trades in this room with the stuff we've learned. All right. So keep in mind, in the 5 trades, we have $676, and one other trade that was taken on the other platform for $750. Okay, and everybody was here as a witness to see it. And next week I want to assign somebody as a chart watcher to look for trades while I'm going through the lesson. All right. And at some point we're going to have a trade that doesn't work out. That's trading. We will get a new Skype group for this with Pioneer. That's not a bad idea, Nigel. I'll have to work on that. That's not a bad idea to get a Skype room going. But I have enough on my plate at the moment. Now, I just want to go back. There were 2 gentlemen here. I assume they were gentlemen anyway that were trying to cause some chaos. And usually these people are very, very desperate for attention. I don't get what it is, but what they want is the attention. So they'll make these inflammatory remarks. They'll say, I mean, I've heard it. I can't say I've heard it all and seen it all, but I've seen it enough times to know how to handle it. As long as you respond. Hi, Zara. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Every time you respond to that nonsense, you actually feed them. So, as I made a statement before, don't rent an apartment in their condo of chaos or condo of confusion, because that's what they want. You follow me? And if you remember, I said if you ignore them, they'll go away, and now they're gone. And I didn't have to lift a finger. You know, don't bite in, don't feed into the nonsense. I didn't have to lift a single finger. I didn't have to say anything, and they just left. Okay? So when people like that come into the room, if someone could step in and ask them not to say it, or could you be quiet or whatever, but only do it once. You get what I'm saying? Because eventually they're going to move on to find what they want. And learning is not what they wanted, because this is all about learning and us supporting each other and helping each other make some money. They wanted something else for whatever reason. So if they're willing to come in here and trade in front of you guys and go 5 for 5, I'll sit back. Well, six for wait, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if they'll come in here and do 5 for 5 and get these kind of results with the minimal amount of risk that we're using, I will listen to them. But if they're not willing to do that, then they need to move on. And that's the attitude. So when people come in the room like that, don't feed into it. You get me? We're here to learn. If they can produce these results in front of you, then yeah, I'll listen because I want to learn. That's how I learned, by listening at some point. So if there aren't any other key questions, remember tomorrow is going to be a review day for the new guys. And by new guys, I mean guys that are part of the Pioneer Trading setup and anyone that may be just green or brand new in trading. We're going to cover real basic stuff and some detailed stuff. Yes, Phil 919, you can keep several profiles open. No, I don't know if you can keep them open simultaneously. That's something I never tried. Okay. Okay, well, I have, it's 11 o'clock and I've got something I have to do, Rock, until noon. So if you want to touch base with me noon, then we can set that up. Okay. And Matt, I'm going to work on the recordings. Don't worry about that right now. We will get them all together for you. All right. But right now, you can just go over the 3 that are there, and we'll add more. All right. So again, I wanted to go more into detail about setting up the charts, but we kind of ran out of time. But it wasn't wasted time. It was all good stuff that happened. All right. Same time tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. right here.